Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. How are we doing? Today's video is going to be a map guide for Zarqwa Hydroelectric. It's part of my map mastery series. I believe this is the third episode now. Previously I have done Albagra Fortress and Mercado, so feel free to check those out in the playlist below if you want to know more about those. We're going to be covering callouts, so the first section. We're then going to be going through how to get out of the water quicker, because I think that's a vital tip for this map. A lot of the time I see people mantling out of the water where you can literally just jump straight out of it pretty much. And then we're going to be going through lines of sight, tips and tricks, and general hints of how to play the map a little bit better. I'm going to leave the contents down below, so if you already know the callouts and you're happy with the callouts, feel free to skip ahead. But yeah, without further ado, let's crack on. So what we have here is what people relatively call a back P2, because P2 hardpoint is in here, in that door. We then have back main rock, which is here. You then got P4. So if someone's here, you say it's P4. This sort of side of the map is called outer. So if someone says, oh, they're coming outer, you sort of know this is where they're going to be coming from. This whole stretch here is river. So that's fairly self-explanatory. You've then got mid ruins, which is because this is ruins in here. So ruins, mid ruins. We then follow ourselves through to P2. So actually this is P2. We've then got wood, which is sort of this side of things. Well, wood or deck, people call it, or people just say from dome, because that's dome. You've then got ocean. So it's called ocean because it's bigger. So you've got river that side, ocean this side. Just helps it keep it a little bit clear. You've then got dome up here. So top dome, bottom dome. Then you've got shack, shed, or hut. I prefer hut, but feel free to use whatever you feel. We've got P1, which is just this general vicinity here. This is a bit vague, but this sort of area here, I like to call mid-map. So that's P1. This is mid-map. We've then got arches, which is this sort of area here. There are a lot of water jump-ups. So, for example, if I knew someone was jumping up here, my commentary for this area would be water, arches, water, or if they were going to come up here, mid-water, there, P1 water, you know, you get the gist of it. And we then move through to this area. So this whole area I call P5, because that's the P5, that's what it is. So it's P5, top P5, platform is up here. You've then got small, so this is what we call small, nice and quick. Someone's in here. You've then got rock heady, which is up here, just generally in this area. Then you've got back rock, which is so generally over here. Back engine, because this is called powerhouse, or back engine, or back P5. You've then got pumps, which is back here. So this is a place where you can block spawns. So, and people call it pumps. This building is called useless because it is just that. There's not really much you can do in here. So generally you hear pros call out useless, and that's what this is. And then we've got P3 in here. You've then got up here. You've got P3. You've then got control, top control, which is up here. You've then got control plat, which is here. Then you've got bridge. So bridge heady, be up here. We will go into more of these tips and tricks and places later on. Bridge heady is here, and then we're back to the beginning. So hopefully that's clear enough. Feel free to slip it or slow it down if you want a little bit more of a breakdown, but that's going to be that. Now, on to tips and tricks. So first off, I'm going to show you how you can jump out of the water a lot easier. So this is probably the way you guys are doing things. So you're swimming up, getting to the edge, and you're mantling like that. See how long that takes me to pull my gun up. It's quite a while before I can get into the fight. However, if you do it like so, this is what it should look like. Straight into the action, like so. And the way you do that is you don't aim for the exact edge. You aim for a little bit further out, because essentially what you want to do is, as you get to the top, spam jump. So without there being a side, what that would look like is this. Get to the top, spam jump. So you can see it does a little butterfly effect, jumps out of the water. That's what you want to do just before you get to that sort of side of it. So just like that, and then you're ready to jump in. You saves that time, and it does win you more gunfights, and it means you can maneuver yourself around the map a little bit better. So now with the generalized tips and tricks, we will start back. We'll start here. So P2 is in this hill. There's not really too much to discuss around P2. The only thing I would mention is if you know your teammates have got that side locked off, you can jump up to here and you can watch mid, and then from here you can see if anyone's coming through that doorway into ruins. So it's a free beam or at least infill, because you really should have someone at the back rock. So you could either let them know they're coming or you can just watch it yourself, and then as long as that's covered you should be good. You've obviously got this heady to be able to watch the right hand side. You can stand on these pallets if you want to chow dome. So for example, you've just spawned in and you know someone's dome, you can just chow up here or check up here. It's a free kill most of the time. They don't often expect it. So that's handy to know. You've also got this water lingering position here. So if you know you've got spawns and they're spawning out, this is a nice place to sit because no one really expects this. If you're sat here with an AR, you can often beam people off here before they even get to the dome. If they end up coming up the rock this way, you can beam them off here. And then you've also got their push to dome from here. If they then push to hill from here, sorry. And then you can sort of maneuver yourself around, approach hill if needs be. And in fact, you can even attack hill from here. So you go on a flank under the water, jump up here, using the tactic I just showed you, and then challenge out like this. Furthermore, if you do want to be really ratty, say for example you've rotated here early but your teammates aren't spawning here, you just want to play for intel, you can get all the way back here. No one's going to be checking this spot, and it's a disgusting way to be able to play this cruddy corner. From here, there's a hill here. This hill is P4, just outside ruins. You can watch mid, you're blocking spawns, you can sort of, from here, you can sort of, if you want, you could hold that door. So for example, if you've got a good setup, you can peek the door from here, you can then hold your mid, and then if you know anyone's chowed through P2, you can then pick them off in the back just like so. Then we've got this rock. I don't really want to say too much, it's an obvious rock. You sort of want to have someone here for P2 and P4. What I do see a lot of people doing is standing up, which is good because it gives you a big line of sight over the whole thing. But if you're in an efficient team and you know where people are watching, you can fill the gap. So for example, say for this hill, really you should have someone laying down looking left with a sub, ideally. And as a result, you can lay down here, you can then watch door, you can then watch mid, and because you're laying down, you can't be beamed from top dome. So this is a nice little spot. It's actually a disgusting spot. Like I'm going to say it's a disgusting spot. Moving onwards from here, you can chow the little window into small or even top plat up there. And with regards to trying to get someone off P4 of that back heady, say for example, you've made it all your way around to here, you've cleared the hill, there's one last guy, jump on this red thing, and you've got a nice little steady heady to chow out there. They're not going to be checking this. It's going to catch them off guard, unless they're hacking, of course, which is obviously always potentially the case. You can do a similar thing here. So, for example, you're spawning out here. You can jump on these red railings and chow them like so. And then finally, you can do it from up here. No, this is a bit of a nicer spot. There's this tiny little window of space where you can shoot someone through if they're on that back rock. And then you can chow out and kill anyone on the hill. So yeah, all well and good there. I don't see enough people come up this water. So the rotation before here is P3, which is way over the other side. A good rotation route if you're a sub is to push through the water under here. I see a lot of people come up here, which is good because you do get this good LOS onto the back rock. There's really not much else going on here. It's not ideal. But not a lot of people expect you to come up here, which you can get to just by swimming through here. And then you can actually sit on these outer bits here like so. It's actually a little bit nasty, a little bigger spot, and people often don't know you're here. They hear water, but if you stay here for a couple of seconds, they don't expect you then to chow like so. Next rock I'm going to be talking to you about is this one just here. So there's many ways you can get up here. So say for example, this is probably the easiest route to do. Say for example, you can guarantee there's not going to be anybody sort of expecting you to jump up here. Ooh. You can jump onto this and then just chow up here. From here, you can lay down and watch the cross to P2. You've got the whole mid cross. You can sort of chow anyone who tries to push behind you around to the back. And you've also got the dome push as well as the push from here. Similarly, if you want to watch the left-hand side, say for example you've got someone on this hill here and you want to watch the P2 cross, you can do the same there. Or you can watch the left, or you can see into ruins. You can see the P1 window. There's a whole bunch of places you can see from up here. And there's more than one way to get up here. So, as you saw, I jumped from here to there before. However, you can do the exact same from here, up here, and then jump up like that. Finally, this is the route I tend to take mostly because if you're trying to chow this hill here, chances are there's already someone on this back heady. So doing any of that will get you killed. But what you can do if you stand on this ledge, sprint. What you can do if you stand on this ledge is sprint. Fuck. What you can do if you're on this ledge is sprint, climb up here, and then you can lay down and then you can take things as you wish. You can do that with a gun out or a knife out, it doesn't really matter. That's the way you can get up through this side. Moving on to this sort of area here, again you can see the P1 the P1 window, sorry. From here you can see the whole of P1, so it's quite a nice place. Say for example, off the rip you spawn this side of the map. You sort of do want someone watching mid-map here, so this is a potential space. My favourite spot is just to chill on these stairs, so if you just crouch behind the stairs, it offers you a nice heady. You win in most gunfights here if you've got an AR, and then the rest of the players can sort of chow hill, and then if you need to drop back, you can drop back. If you want to progress through to hill, you can just fill in that gap. But this is a nice little area where you can generally pick people off from mid. Another thing I'd like to note is if you wanted to chow someone on that back window, back P4, and you spawn out here, you can actually chow them from here. Obviously not with a sub because you'd probably die, but from here you can sort of chow out and beam them with an AR like so. But over here in Arches, there are a couple of little spots which I like and started to use. If you jump up onto this sort of column, you can see into P3. Now, this isn't really useful. It's very specific. It's, it might not be useful all the time, but it's a nice place to be able to pick people off and get a free couple of kills like so. So that's all well and good. We're going to be then moving on to P1 here. Let's talk about the waters a little bit here. So let's say, for example, you have spawned over here, dome side. If you can work your way to this water here, you're often going to be able to get a chance to shoot people in the back. Let's say you spawn the other side through P3. You can swim under, come to the mid, and then you've got a nice little spot of taking people again from the back. So, a couple of spots here. Obviously, you can get to dome like so. While you're in dome, you can sort of walk all the way around it, so that's worth noting. You can jump up this side. There's all sorts of places you can jump. And then this offers opportunities to get onto this rock where you can see a lot of P1. From here, you've got to lay down, unfortunately, which is breaking GAs, but hey-ho. You can see into that. You can see into the window. You can see top plats. You can sort of watch the whole front from here. You can get on top of this, but I don't really know how useful this is. Maybe if you wanted to chow back rock or top ruins, this would be good. From here, you can then jump up here. Again, very limited usability. Maybe you're trying to catch someone off guard running through here. You can do so, but generally speaking, not ideal. Now we're in the hut. You can jump on the shelf, chow someone out here. You can lay down and watch the right-hand side. You can stay behind this cover and watch the mid. Maybe useful, maybe not, but it's worth noting. This is a nice little god heady. This is where I tend to sit if I'm ARing on this hill. You can sort of watch mid from here. You can watch any of these entrances to P1 if they're spawning in that general vicinity. So it's a nice little spot to be able to know. And you can do the exact same up here if they're spawning the other side, just like so. You can also hop yourself up onto this little white box, and this provides you a nice heady. So say, for example, a couple of people are coming here, or you're playing ring around the roses here, jump up here, beam them over the top. You can then jump up, or not that that's really useful, but you can do that, and you can do a similar thing. Say, for example, someone's behind the hill somewhere here. You can jump up here into this corner and chow them like so. This is probably useful if you know they're spawning here. You've got someone watching window and you've got someone watching your back. You can sort of just chill here because they're going to be coming from either top here, through the door, or around the outer side, just like so. From here, obviously, you can jump into here. You can also jump directly into the window. So yeah, good little spots just there. This moves us into top control, where you can, from anywhere in here, you can jump onto these top generators. So, for example, if there's someone you need to challenge on P1, but you don't want to reveal yourself in the window, jump in on here, check where they are, and then you can kill accordingly. Similarly here, without being in the window, you can sort of watch the mid push from here, which is just nice to know. Control roof or control plat, whatever you guys want to call it. It's a very hard spot to get to because chances are you're going to be beamed. But say, for example, you wanted to chow someone on the rock, you could dive out here, chow them like so. This provides a nice little heady for you to chow them on dome or rock. You are laying down, which gives you a little bit of an advantage, but if any shots on you are going to be headshots, so you will die very quickly up here if you are shot. Moves on to this sort of area of the map. Obviously, you can jump on these pipes, and then I see a lot of people try and make the jump from here to here, all you need to do is land anywhere on this yellow wall thing here, so like so, and then walk along it. You can also do the same from the top. So for example, you're coming from top, you've got them a couple weak, you've seen them come out that side, you can literally come around, jump on this wall, and you're in, like so. Whilst you're in P3, you can actually capture the hill while you're on this sort of wheel, this turning wheel, and you can just keep an eye on top from here. You can also watch mid from here, but chances are they're going to see your legs, so it's probably not worth doing. Another nice spot I like to sit when I'm holding this, especially when I've got a sub, is in this corner. If you stand up, you can see their entrance. You can sort of catch them running through the outer, and then you can beam them. You've got a little heady here provided by the door, as long as it is open this way. You can then also watch the mid push here, or any sort of... It's a deep, dark corner. It's hard for them to check it without getting beamed by your teammates, but it's a nice spot nonetheless. Also, if you're here and you're not blocking spawns, they will be spawning back here. So if you've got someone watching this door here, they might spawn down those steps, and away you can watch those steps. A little bit cruddy. You can see them through here. You might struggle to kill people, but if you put enough bullets in, you will, or at least provide damage. So this is a nice little area to be aware of. Furthermore, with these silos, you can sort of get all the way around them. So just on this outer wall, get over these. Not sure the usability of these, but hey, you might find it useful one day. You can then also get on the bins here like so, but again, not really useful. So yeah, this takes us to this sort of area of the map. So from here, you can challenge in here. You can also get to this sort of area of the map. So this is very rarely checked. Like, if you're back here, they might spawn here still. So you're not blocking spawns while you're here. So if the hills, if P3 is still up, you catch them running through, you can beam them in the back. And then from here, it says it's out of bounds, but you can actually get behind them like so. And there's a nice little jump up here on these railings where you can see them. So say, for example, P5's up and you're trying to watch the back, you'll do just a good enough job just here. Talking of which, people struggle to hold P3 properly. You want to be in this general vicinity to block the hill. So if you're here and your teammates are sort of in the hill, any kills they get will spawn them P1. And if someone on your team is P1, they'll spawn P2. So the ideal setup for me here is to have one person blocking, couple people or one person in the hill watching maybe their mid push through the generator room or through engine or through P5, whatever you guys want to call it. And then the rest of the team P1, because it spawns them miles away. It's going to take them a year to get to the hill. And then with about 20 seconds left, leave this. Any kills you get, as long as you get the kill before them, after you've left this, they'll spawn back here, and then you've got the new road to New Hill. So worth noting. While we're back here, there's a lot of useless space, so I'm not really going to cover all of it. But if you notice these blue ledges, it means you can actually mantle up here. From here, you can sort of watch the same angle. You can see if anyone pushes around here to get to P5. You can get on this back rock here to watch the push to the right. But nothing really of use too badly. I don't think there's actually anything really useful here. But it's just worth knowing. You can do it. This rock's useful, however. So when P5 is up, this is a nice position to be able to watch the back and the front. Now, if someone is already in the back, you can watch the front, and then that leaves only one other option for the enemies to be pushing the point, and that is through P3, through the middle water bit. So that means anyone that's on hill just needs to be watching that way. As long as you've got someone here watching front, you've got someone in the back watching the back, and you are good to go. If you find yourself in a situation where you're trying to watch both, which I often do, this is a nice little area to sit on, because you can chow front like so, or you lay down and you can watch the back like this. But generally speaking, this is a decent area to be able to watch both. This sort of takes us into the final area of the map, which is P5. From here, obviously, the plat here, you can actually get onto these railings like so. And from here, you can watch the back. Similarly, you can jump onto these ones here and watch the front like so. No one's going to be expecting this. It's a mean heady. And even if they run through here, they're not going to be checking up here. You can even lay down if you want to be really pretty. And if you know anyone's going to be challenging from top, you've got a nice heady like so. Moving further around, there's another little spot you can watch to sit on to watch the back, and that is just here. And then from here, you can also chow front. So yeah, you can get to the hill from up here. Whilst you're up here, not really. I don't know how useful this is going to be, but whilst you're here, you can actually see the rocks that overlook P1 behind the shed, behind the hut, sorry. So if you've got an AR, you can beam them like so. And then from the railings over here, see Daisy, you can actually see into P3, which can offer you some free kills. Now, while the hill is up in here, there's a couple places you can sit. This is the obvious one. People like to sit here, but I actually like to sit on these main generator bits. So it offers you a really nice heady to chow anyone either coming across the water or through front, as long as you know the other areas are covered. You can also watch the mid. Punch that box out of the way. You can also watch the mid from here. It's a filthy heady. You're not going to really get shot, although they might be able to see your side very slightly. And yeah, I also see, last thing, I don't want to keep you guys for too long, it's already a 20-minute video. Last thing is, I see a lot of people doing this, jumping over, which is all well and good, but it delays. It's a long process. It's not long, but when you're trying to get somewhere quick, every millisecond matters. So you can actually just walk across like so. You don't have to jump at all. You do probably the other way, but you can literally just sprint across like so, as long as you make sure you're lined up with this little pole like so. Yeah, nice little tip for you guys to know. You don't have to jump, because I do see a lot of people doing that. So yeah, I think I've covered everything. You guys hopefully can understand that. If I haven't, I might know it. I just don't. It's hard to think of it all in one video. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry, nonetheless. If you want to see more of this content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, because I will be doing this for every map in the CDL. And yeah, that'll be me. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.